Alright y'all, welcome back. Real quick, we're going to do a quick 2020 lawn care setup video. So I've been meaning to do this one for a while and just hadn't got around to it. This is about the best chance I've got for coming weeks with my schedule. So we're going to try to knock it out real quick and let y'all see the general setup. I've got some other stuff that's not here with what I got sitting out, but we're going to go over the primary stuff that I use, mowers and things, and let y'all see what it is and tell me what you think. And this is what I use, so here we go. So we'll start with the truck. The truck is a 2016 Silverado 2500 HD. It's a two-wheel drive LS60 gas motor. It's not a diesel. It's got about 64,000 miles on it, and so that's the truck that I use. Got my step bars, all-terrain tires, alloy wheels. You've already seen both of the mowers, but I just recently purchased the John Deere X590. It is a 54-inch deck, 25.5 horse EFI. We have purchased a power flow bagger system. You've seen that in one of my previous videos, and the brush guard. It's got about 35 hours on it now already this year, so it's been doing pretty good. So it's a good mower. Next is, I guess you call it my pride and joy here, my John Deere Z920M Z-Track commercial zero turn mower. It has the 54-inch 7-iron Pro deck. This mower has around 940 hours on it. This is my primary mower. I don't use the 590 much. I'll use it if this one's in the shop, but this is the go-getter. This is the money maker. Excellent cut quality on this mower. I love the 7-iron deck. I know some of the other videos that I've watched from other guys, I mentioned the 7-iron deck when they talk about the velocity deck from Skag, or some of the other deck systems that are out there, and cut quality, especially here in the South. Now, I know different regions it may vary, but the 7-iron deck for here in the South, here in South Carolina, does an excellent job. I typically run the John Deere mulching blades, which is kind of the bi-level mulching blades. They kind of come off the center and dip down a little bit. So that's typically the blades that I run. They cut good with any conditions, thick bahia, wet grass, anything. So I like the 54-inch deck because most of my properties I can get to 90 plus, 95 plus % of the property. I don't have a lot of I don't have like a bunch of small tiny backyards where I might would need a 36. I do have one pool area where I was doing some push mow bagging for a little while, but I've started to cut the main part with this and then just trim the rest of it. It seems to be a little bit quicker. So excuse me. Same thing on the X590. Is the Excel Deep 54-inch deck. So again, this has been a good mower so far. Love the EFI startup. Purchased the John Deere steering knob, and this thing works excellent. It greatly improves, in my opinion, your ability to steer the mower and quickly react and change directions. So that's the two mowers that I use. My trailer is a 7x16 double axle trailer. Mentioned in my 2020 goals that I had recently had it redone. So it's got to have some fresh paint on it from where everything was redone. I went from a wood floor to a metal grate floor. It has welded reinforcements over the original beams because there was a little bit of a gap. So let's say double axle. I had a drop gate added to it. I used this trailer for about 2 seasons without a drop gate. It had a bar that was bracketed and ran across the back, and I had purchased a set of ramps from Tractor Supply that were rated for 2,500 pounds that's hooked perfectly onto that bar. Super lightweight ramps. I could lift them right off and put them in the back of the truck. So they've redone the floor, done some welding on the fenders, the little gussets here you can see, and drop gate, and some makeshift pins and chains here. So gonna look to probably get a Gorilla Lift to put on here. I'll have to probably move my little eye bolt there and maybe put it in the vertical side rail. So moving on to some of my handheld stuff. Some of this stuff, y'all have heard me talk about the age on it, but I have my Stihl BR 550 blower. I've had this blower now for 7 years, and it still gets the job done. So you'll notice everything of mine it's green and orange. So pretty much everything I have. My pride and joy next to my mower is my Stihl FS90R weed eater. I've had this weed eater for 8 seasons. I've only ever had to leave this weed eater in the shop overnight for maintenance one time, and I believe that was last season. So this has been a well spent $330, $350, I believe it was when I bought this brand new. So my most recent purchase is the Stihl FS94R. Been impressed with this one so far. I've heard a lot of people use it, and so I've gotten a right good bit of use out of this one since I bought it about 2 weeks ago. So y'all seen some footage of the cemetery that I did in a previous video, and this was mainly the trimmer that did all of the trimming in that cemetery, along with the 90. So not quite the power of the 90, but still plenty of power to do 90% of the trimming that you're going to do in lawn care. So I'm liking it so far. It's a good purchase. They had these on sale for $2.99, they're regularly $3.49. So I got a little bit of a deal on that when I purchased it. So liking it so far. Moving on over here, as you can see, it's a little beat up. I had it on my trailer rack here, and a limb slapped the housing and busted it. So recently put a fuel cap on. This is my FC70 edger. It's a curved shaft edger, as you can see. I've had this edger for between 7 and 8 years, give or take. I think it's a little closer to like 7 years, but still works great. I don't think I've ever left this one in the shop for maintenance. I've done a little bit of maintenance on it, spark plug, primer bulb, changed the muffler on it myself. So this has been another good one. So I'm a Stihl man, and I'm going to have a lot of bad luck with them, I think, before I change. But hey, there's a lot of other good stuff out there, but Stihl's my go-to right now. Here I have my Stihl HL94K. It's my oscillating, articulating hedge trimmers. I bought these, I think, the beginning of last year or the middle of the year before. These have been excellent for me for the trimming that I do have to do. Some of the taller shrubs where you can angle the head a little bit, it's worked great. So that one has been a great one. I don't do a ton of trimming, but this has definitely helped speed things up. Originally I was sticking with the HL45, which I think is the 24-inch trimmer, just a hand trimmer. This one has more than carried its weight over the years. I've probably had this about 5 or 6 years. So that's the 2 hedge trimmers that I run. Also, it's not out here, but I do have the FS70 trimmer, which is on the fritz right now, but it is what it is. 2 of the no spill gas cans, 5 gallons of regular non-ethanol, I think it's 90 octane, 89, 90 octane, and it's the same fuel I use for my mix. This is 2.5 gallon no spill mix gas can, and I use the, let me see if I can get it out of my toolbox here. Got some of my other stuff in there. Well, I don't have the can in here, but I use the Stihl HP Ultra Oil Comes in a little silver bottle. For this, you can buy it in a 2.5 gallon preset amount for the mix. So you 1 bottle to 1 can of gas. And that's what I run in all of my stick equipment. Again, it's non-ethanol gas, and I also run non-ethanol in both of my mowers. So it's been excellent for me. Like I say, I've got close to 950 hours on this one. We've already put about 35 on this mower, so this year, so they've all been good. As you can see, I've gotten good use out of my steel equipment. A lot of this is getting a little sun-baked. You can see where I've got a place broke off on my blower here. But again, this is my 2020 lawn care setup. The mowers, trimmers, hedge trimmers, edger, blower, and the 2500 HD. So that's my main setup. I've got some other things. I've got a pull behind aerator, pull behind spreader, a pull behind sprayer, Femco 25 gallon, I believe it is. I also have a 4 gallon backpack sprayer and some handheld sprayers. So I've got some of the other things, but this is the prime equipment that I do the majority of my mowing and things with. So I hope y'all like the setup. Let me know what you think. What's y'all's opinions on this? Have any of y'all used or are using any of this equipment? Let me know what you think. I know I've seen a lot of the 94Rs out there, and I know a few people use 90s. So thank y'all for taking the time to watch. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe, everybody.